Denizens of the Nightlands. These are your enemies. They are numerous, and they are insidious. The first and most insidious is the Doppelganger. The Doppelganger RCC. This is a duplicate of someone that exists in our world, but was born in the Nightlands.
Well, there comes the Men in Black reference again.
This is how a lot of people were replaced on the Dark Day. The Nightlords, took control of the Doppelganger on the other side, slipped them into killed the human person, put the Doppelganger in there, and Bob's your uncle. Now you have a puppet that can say whatever you want, do whatever you want, especially if they are in a place of power, which most Doppelgangers are. They are high-ranking senators, congressmen, police chiefs of major cities, mayors, all kinds, takes all kinds. So the most common denizens of the Nightlands are doppelgangers who look exactly like normal humans, although slightly paler. And that's because their world doesn't have sunlight, but they don't burn up in sun or anything. So the pale thing will rectify itself. The exact proportion is not certain, but some students of the Nightlands believe that between 20 and 30% of all adult humans have a doppelganger.
Wow.
Children and preteen doppelgangers also exist, but they are very rare, accounting for less than 2% of the population. Similarities go beyond physical appearance. Doppelgangers know most of what their human doubles know. Their skills, abilities, and capabilities correspond almost exactly with their counterparts' knowledge.
Why can't my doppelganger go to work for me? Because I got things to do here. My doppelganger needs to go to work for me. Bastard.
But then you're in the multiplicity problem. Yeah, there you go. Even their personalities are somewhat related, although some doppelgangers tend to have twisted version of their doubles, exhibiting the worst traits, including many that are typically repressed or buried in the normal person's psyche. Many doppelgangers are the exact opposite of their doubles. This means that some doppelgangers are evil people who will actually be moral, decent beings. Others are completely similar, both physically and mentally. So most of the time, a doppelganger has all the prerequisite knowledge and skills that the person in the Earth world has. It's an easy, cut and paste, right? Mm. You cut out the human and you paste in the doppelganger, and all the Nightlords are laughing, right? That's exactly what happened. That's what doppelgangers do. You want to find them and kill them. But you also want to get away because no one's going to believe you that was a doppelganger because they show up exactly like their human counterpart. And doppelgangers do get psionic powers, and they do get natural abilities, like they do not need food or water to survive, although they enjoy the experience. They live by absorbing ambient PPE. They heal damage faster than humans. They heal 1 hit point or SDC plus PE bonus, if any, per hour.
Where is this?
This doesn't matter. This doesn't.
Okay.
I'm just doing examples. They have supernatural abilities, and they have supernatural strength. So they are not just a human replacement. They are a human replacement that can defend itself. So killing it is not going to be so stupid easy. It's going to be able to effectively defend itself from non-surprise attacks. And then we move down to page 161.
I'll just type that in. 162. Because I have to go a page further. The Hounds.
The Hounds. There we go. The Hounds. We're going to scroll by the flavor text.
Okay.
The humanoid hounds are the shock troops of the Nightlords, monsters through and through. They are believed to be magical constructs similar to golems. Unlike golems, however, hounds do feel emotions and have lusts and desires, mostly for murder. Regrettably, these desires are all related to pain and fear. Hounds live for the hunt and the slaughter. They are ultimate warriors and trackers, relentlessly following their prey and then playing with it for a short while before finally destroying it without mercy. Now, the hounds are the bane of night. Oh God, I should have reworded that. Are the nightmare fuel for Nightbane, because they actually have the ability to track Nightbane. Now,
I've got to ask this question because it's killing me.
Go for it.
You're talking about Nightlords right now, right?
The
Nightlord minions.
Yes, these are Nightlord minions.
Let me go back to this for a second. Where the hell is it? Oops. Oh no. Where's my doppelganger again? Dennis, there we go. It says this is an optional player character.
Yes, because it's said in there, sometimes a doppelganger will have the opposite alignment and morality traits as their human counterpart. If the human counterpart is an evil senator who's gotten himself into power, because evil people like power, right? And they're replaced by the Nightlords with the doppelganger. Well, but this doppelganger is a good guy. He wants to get away as soon as possible.
Okay.
So he may join up with the Nightbane or with the Seekers or the Lightbringers or whatever, just because they're good people, they're good folk, and they want to do good works.
Okay. I just wanted to put that out there because I know we're on the Nightlord side, which are the bad
Yeah.
guys.
Yes.
But that said optional player character,
It
and
is an
for a
optional
second I was
player
like,
character class. I don't recommend it, but it is there.
okay.
All right. The Hounds, go back to page 161.
Okay. There.
Yeah, there you go. The Hounds can actually track by smell a Nightbane. More often in its morphous form and only within 4,000 meters. But during the
Only
night,
4,000 meters.
yeah. So, to search an entire city will take time, but they usually come in packs of 10 or 20. And they're told to spread out in the city, find me prey. And then they will find any Nightbane they can find, or any other uh you know uh powers of good that the Nightlords want to destroy. And they are insidious. We'll go down to their attributes.
Oh, now
Always
I can go
diabolic.
there.
Always diabolic. Not so smart. 2d4 IQ.
They're dogs.
They're dogs, but very
That's pretty
strong.
smart for a dog.
Yeah, very strong. 3d6 plus 14 physical strength, and they have supernatural physical strength and endurance.
Ouch.
Yes. 7 feet tall, weigh 350 pounds, natural AR against 13 against normal weapons, 0 against magical and supernatural attacks. That means against guns, explosions, knives, forks, spoons, whatever, AR 13. Against a supernatural punch, AR nothing. Against a magic spell, AR nothing. All right. There you go. But they get 200 SDC.
200 SDC. What trash?
And their PE times 3 in hit points, and a natural horror factor of 13.
Ooh,
1d6 times
13.
10 PE. Natural abilities, immune to all illusion and powers of concealment. That means if you are a wizard of some kind and you cast an illusion, it's not going to fool these guys. They are hunters. They are not fooled by your paltry tricks.
My favorite ability in all of D&D, True Seeing.
They have it. They can see through the shroud talent, normal invisibility spells, and any magical or psionic powers of disguise or camouflage. Nothing works. Nothing. Night vision of 2,000 feet. Now, night vision in this book is complete and utter vision, no matter what kind of light source, if any. Pitch black, still see, just as good as daytime. That's their deal. Self-healing. If they are allowed to stand still and meditate for 1 hour, they heal all damage.
Wow.
All damage taken. But they are in a regenerative coma type thing, so they can't defend themselves during this hour.
Still, it's only an hour.
Still.
Probably easy to find a space, just run away a little bit, find a warehouse, get to the top of it. I mean, every supernatural type movie, right?
Yeah. And they have partial invulnerability. Not only do they have armor rating against normal weapons, they only take half damage from all non-magical weapons.
Oh, awesome.
So that gun and knife and spoon and fork and whatever, you have to beat the AR of 13, and then it only does half damage. So yeah, they're pretty tough, especially for the Spook Squad. Spook Squad hate these guys. Oh my God. Because all they have is guns. Guns are not effective. Vulnerabilities, they take double damage from magic, artifacts, weapons, talents, and power spells. So magic, not only does it bypass their armor rating, but they take double damage. Double damage. Not from supernatural punches. It doesn't say that. From magic artifacts, weapons, talents, and spells. All right. So bear that in mind. And then we have the Hound Masters, which are the same page, just on the right. These are the people who control the hounds when they're on site, when they're in the field. The Hound Masters are the deal. They're believed to be hounds that were elevated intellect-wise by the Nightlords to be more intelligent, to be more cunning, more crafty, to be able to control the hounds to get things done. They're most commonly found leading large bodies of hounds, 20 or more, or at the head of a smaller team assigned to an undercover mission, such as finding a group of Nightbane in an Earth city. In the second case, only 3 to 5 hounds will back up the master. Sometimes these creatures will be sent on solo missions, although such activities are typically left to the Night Princes, Nightlord Avatar, or some other powerful minion. Only the lesser Nightlords will place so much trust in a mere hound master. All right. Note, hound masters are diabolic predators, not recommended as player characters. So you can't be a hound or a hound master. But
Yes, I can. Just says not recommended. Doesn't say I'm not allowed to.
shut up.
Okay.
All right. Their IQ is not just 2d4. Now it's 2d4 plus 6. So the average intelligence of a hound is going to be somewhere between 4 and 5, whereas the average intelligence of a hound master is going to be somewhere between 11 and 12. 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there is going to be their average. But they all have supernatural strength and endurance still, and their strength is 2d6 plus 20. No joke.
Wow.
No joke there. PP is 2d6 plus 12. PE is 3d6 plus 10. This makes them all very good at fighting and very good at tanking. The natural abilities, they are also immune to all powers of concealment and have the night vision, same as the hounds, because they are elevated from hounds. So they still keep their natural hound ability. They also have the self-healing and the tracking of supernatural creatures. But their skill and range is far reduced.
That's why you have the hounds. Otherwise, they just send the hound masters.
Exactly. That's why you have the hounds, right? And partial invulnerability, they also still only take half damage from all magic weapons, but they do not have the armor rating of the hound, the natural armor rating. But as a trade-off, they have illusion powers. They can cast illusions themselves. Hound masters can create illusionary shells around themselves and up to 5 others. Typically, they will use this power to pass as normal humans. This is a psionic ability costing 4 ISP to disguise themselves and 8 to disguise others. Duration of the illusion is a period of 10 minutes per level of experience for oneself only, or 5 per level for disguising 2 to 5 people. This is usually the hounds. They will disguise themselves and their hounds as people to better search out their prey without causing, obvious commotion, because they don't look like folk. They look like demons. Better not to. when you're trying to blend in, better not to.
I'm going to a rave, so I just went as myself.
Yes, there you go. They have supernatural strength, just like regular hounds. They typically have bladed staves that they use for combat that gives them 3d6 plus their PS bonus. ISP is their mental endurance plus a d6 times 10 plus 2d6 per level. Average lifespan is unknown because they usually die in combat, but they're probably extremely long lived. Average level 2d4 plus 1. Again, like their hounds, they take double damage to artifacts, weapons, powers, and spells. They have minimal skills: natural tracking, swimming and climbing, weapon proficiency, polearm, and battle axe, and can speak all languages magically. That's it. That's all they get. That's all they need. The Nightlords did not want them taking on heirs, thinking they're better than they are, trying to be all aristocracies and whatnot, and oh for what thou, and no, stop thinking, start hunting. Stop it. All right, then we move on to the hunters. The hunters are the flying hounds. Just gonna scroll down, you're gonna find it. There they are.
Does it start on the other page?
These are flying monkeys that are not monkeys. They're flying bat vulture things. They're no good. Hunters are the flying companions to hounds. They too are covered in black skeletal armor. However, their head helmets are shaped like a vulture's with a long curved beak. 2 bat-like wings protrude from their backs, allowing them to fly. They act as the aerial hunters, scouts, and messengers of the Nightlords. Typically, there is 1 hunter for every 10 hounds in a Nightlord's army. They share the hounds' love for hunting and murdering innocent victims. All right, so let's look at their powers. Number 1, they're a little smarter than hounds, but nowhere near as smart as hound master. It's 2d6 IQ, but they have, again, supernatural strength and endurance, and their strength is 2d6 plus 10. I'm sorry, their strength is 3d6 plus 14, their physical prowess is 2d6 plus 10, and their physical endurance is 3d6 plus 6. So they are very strong, they are very fast. Flying is 1d4 times 10 plus 40 speed. Just like the Hounds, they have an AR of 13 against normal weapons. A little less hit, a little less SDC, 180 instead of 200. Still, that's a lot.
What are you talking about? A lot.
Okay, except for your Cenobite. They are again immune to all illusions and power of concealment and night vision and expert tracker, 80%. Self-healing, again, just like the Hounds, they need an hour to someplace safe and they can regenerate all damage.
People should not underestimate that. Yeah, I mean, you can think about like, well, how would you get away? What if you're unconscious? Well, we can find you. Yeah, those things happen. But just think about, you're fighting inside a city, a warehouse district of a city at 2 a.m. You're beat up. That thing's beat up. It probably is being dragged away. An hour later, it's good to go. What are you doing an hour later?
You're still hurt. Yeah, this whole Hound and Hunter thing is really great if you find a Nightbane stronghold that they're defending. You attack it en masse, but you give orders to your Hounds to run away at half health. That way, every hour, the enemy is completely healed and rested, whereas every hour you're getting more weaker and
Yep.
weaker and weaker, and you will fall. Attrition will hit you, not them. Supernatural strength. They usually use curved short swords, which is 2d6 plus physical strength bonus, or beak attacks, which is 3d6.
That's just gross.
It is.
Ow!
Attack.
You know what that
And
reminds
again,
me? That
like,
reminds me of my TI in basic training. Smack me at the brim of his hat. Just bam, God.
there you go. And just like the Hounds and the Hound Masters and the Hunters are take double damage from artifact weapons and powers. It doesn't say magic.
Well, I mean,
Doesn't say
they are
magic.
higher on the food chain than the Hounds and Hound Masters, right?
No, they're lower than the Hound Masters. The
Oh, are they?
Hound
Okay.
Masters control the Hunters,
Oh,
so
okay.
I would say no. All right, now the Ashmedai, Ashmedai,
Ashmodai.
Ashmodai. There you go, Ashmodai. There you go. Crawling horrors. These things are nightmare fuel. Check this out. Many are the fearsome stories about the Ashmodai, the monstrous servants of the Nightlords. They're said to live in some hellish dimension until the Nightlords summon them. Some legends claim the Ashmodai are actually Nightbane, and that their horrible worm-like forms are the Nightbane's true shape. That's just
That's
propaganda.
gross.
Also propaganda. Some tales make them the guardians of the mythical formless ones, a warrior race who switched allegiance when the Baal conquered the Nightlands. Doesn't matter. As an independent race, they have more initiative and self-reliance and are often used by the Nightlords on special missions where the servile Hounds and Hunters won't do. If you're fighting an intelligent opponent, you need an intelligent predator, and these are more intelligent predators. A few Ashmodai have left the service of the Baal because the worm's malevolent nature makes it impossible to form a lasting alliance with other beings. They're so evil, even the Nightlords can't keep control of them. They're so self-serving and evil.
Hey, if
That
you were a worm, wouldn't you be pretty pissed off and self-serving as well?
yeah. The true form of the Ashmodai are worm-like fleshy giant with no apparent eyes and 4 long tentacles protruding from the sides of his serpentine trunk. The head is dominated by a gaping maw filled with sharp teeth and 4 main fangs in each corner. Unfortunately, the creatures are master shapeshifters,
I
able
hope
to
so.
assume any form they desire. The monsters can hide themselves in a human or animal shape, undetected and unsuspected. Only some magical spells, psionic powers, and Nightbane talents can unmask these creatures. In addition to their shapeshifting abilities, the Ashmodai have limited psionic powers that enable them to act as spies and manipulators. They do not have the Nightbane talents, so suspicious that they are members of the race are unfounded, although such wild speculation seems to persist. Some Ashmodai do pass themselves off as Nightbane, however, using special magic artifacts created by the Nightlords to hide their true nature or imitate Nightbane talents. Luckily, only a few such artifacts exist. All right, so we're going to go on to their stats now. It's on the next page. Typically, their alignment is diabolic or miscreant. A few are aberrant. Their attributes are
Pretty
significant.
smart.
Yes. They are they're good around the board. I mean, just across the board, they're better than a human.
Yeah.
Across the board. And they have supernaturals. All attributes are considered
Well,
supernatural.
they are kind of ugly. Just saying.
Fair enough. They are ugly. But you know what? Look, scroll up a little bit. You'll see why. Scroll up a little bit.
Well, or varies with shape though. Also,
Yeah, scroll up a little bit. That's what they look like.
Oh, that's a sexy beast.
Now, I wouldn't even give a 4 to that. But you get a D4. Okay. True size, 8 to 12 feet from top of the head to the tip of the tail. Weight, true form, 3 to 800 pounds, depending on how big you are. SDC, 3d6 times 10 plus 150. Oh my God.
Eh.
What do you mean, Ned? That beats you a lot.
Didn't I have like
Average.
400?
No, you only had something like a 285 to 300.
No, for some reason I had like I thought I had 455 or something like that. But okay.
The average here is going to be what? 333 to 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, 3d6 average is 10 and a half, so 11.
Yeah, 11. So it's going to be 110. The average is going to be 260. That's their average SDC. Hit points, 2d10, 2d4 times 10 plus 20.
Okay, that's a little bit.
That's a lot. That is a lot. When they are in any form other than their base form, they have 120% less SDC in a tiny form, bird or rat, and 180 less SDC if they are, I'm sorry, in that tiny form of a bird or a rat or smaller. In a human form, they're minus 120 to their total. 100.
Look at this.
Minus
Look
100.
at this paltry 14.
Yeah. But still, a horror factor of 14 is no joke.
No, it's
natural
not.
ability, supernatural vision. Although the Ashmodai have no eyes in their true form, they can see through supernatural senses. They can see the invisible and in total darkness. Works in any and all forms it may select. Bioregenerate 1d6 times 10 SDC or hit points every minute. 4 melee rounds. Every minute. 1d6 times 10.
Wow.
Shapeshifting. It takes 1 melee action, and they can shift into anything as big as an elephant or as small as a mouse. They have supernatural strength. In their true form, each tentacle does 1d6 plus 6 supernatural strength damage. And if they're in human form, they use their human form strength, which is also supernatural. Psionic powers, alter aura, empathy, mind block, see aura, and telepathy. Alter aura and mind block. Alter aura, obviously, you can't see that they're a supernatural evil creature, and mind block, you can't read their minds. It helps them in their spine.
Empathy and telepathy help them to get to know you better.
Exactly. Helps them in their infiltration. And then we move on to the other greatest trick ever played on the planet, the Namtar or Hollow Men. Now, along with the doppelgangers, the Namtar are the ones who have replaced people. Namtar are tiny insects. They're bug. I wouldn't say tiny,
See,
but
this is why you hate everybody needs to just hate bugs.
Everybody hates bugs. I know. They are little bug people, but they have the ability, if they have raw materials and fresh human blood, they can make a human skin suit that is an exact copy of anyone they want. So they can make a human skin suit copy of anyone, kill that person, and take their place.
That explains my marriage.
Or the reason that and that is only for a short time, because the only problem with their skin suit is that they have black eyes. So most of the time, they take on human form as an FSB agent for the Nightlords. And they can wear sunglasses or mirror glasses and have government stuff, government ID, and get in anywhere and just shoot anyone they want. That's usually what they're for. So let's see how good they are. They're either diabolical or miscreant. That's really not a surprise. But in their normal bug form, they have pretty good IQ, okay ME, okay MA. Physical strength is crap because they're little bugs. If you scroll over a little bit to the right, you'll see the bug coming out of the body, so the skin suit.
No. I don't want to see that.
Well, there you go. That's what it is.
X card.
Physical beauty, speed, obviously really low. Physical endurance, really low because they are bugs. But if they're in a skin suit, Their
Let's just keep
physical
that right
strength
there.
goes to 3d6 plus 2. Their physical prowess
Oh,
3d6, PE 3d6, PB 3d4, speed 3d6. Those are the ones that change. They keep all the other attributes, and their strength
I
and
have to
endurance
interrupt you.
are considered supernatural.
This is more important. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that, Noro. I take everything back. You're not a bug person.
Okay. But they are considered supernatural strength in the hollow people form. In their skin suit, they have supernatural strength and endurance. Size and weight are different if they're a bug or in their skin suit. SDC in their bug form is 10. Skin suit is 2d4 times 10 plus 80. So all of their skin suits are pretty tough. Hit points, normal bug form 10. Skin suit, none, because it's a construct. It's not living thing. It's fake thing. So it just has SDC. Armor rating 12 in its natural form, Hollow Man 8. Why? Well, because in their normal form they have the chitin, the exoskeleton, so it gives a better armor class. And a Hollow Man has an 8 because it's made of material that could be, bullet resistant or puncture resistant, stuff like that. Like twine, not twine, but wire and metal shaving, stuff like that, woven into the skin suit because it can be made from almost anything, rags, whatever. These constructs look human, but their pale white or yellowish skin is tougher than humans and has tough fabric texture similar to a burlap bag. Their eyes are dark and blank or dead looking and may people describe them as threatening. The Namtar may be scared, but the Hollow Man cannot show it. The Hollow Man skin suit has trouble showing emotion, whether startled, scared, frightened, happy, can't do it.
So find your friend that's the most robotic.
Yeah, but that makes them perfect federal agents.
Hmm?
Because federal agents aren't supposed to show that stuff. Now, that is it for the main minions of the Nightlords on Earth. Everything else is a Nightlands denizen called the Waste creatures. These are, if you were to visit the Nightlands, you might run into the Waste creatures. The
Should we hit
Waste
some of the
coyote,
comments?
the snake bird, the lizard king. And before we touch on vampires, go ahead and hit some comments.
Okay. All right. So are we going all the way back there? I'd like to play an awakened doppelganger, Darthiak says. What does awakened mean in that context?
I don't know what that means either.
Okay. We'll move on then. Hounds would make the Sentinels from X-Men look like tracking amateurs. That's for you. I don't know about X-Men Sentinels.
Sentinels are mechanical robots in Marvel Comics that can sense mutants.
Is this statement accurate?
Hounds would make the Sentinels from X-Men look like tracking amateurs. I think the Sentinels have greater range, but once a Hound gets within 4,000 meters of a Nightbane, there's probably no getting away.
If you want to know what sparked everything? You need Heath Nug. Shut up, clipped. No, we don't. So, to be our finger, first time catching you all live. Well, congratulations. Glad to see you here. I was pleased to find high quality channel. He called us a high quality
Quality, wow.
Yeah. Channel that talks
Undeserved
Palladium.
praise.
I've watched quite a bit of your catalog. Well, I appreciate that. So 2022 is the year of Palladium Books. I mean, it's not that we'll never cover it again, but next year we'll be on to something else. But yep, for the rest of this year, next week, Heathen Dog will be creating a Nightbane character. Then we have Sean Owen Robertson on. If you've got any questions you want for him, he's the heir apparent to Kevin Simbita. He should be on the 9th. And then starting on the 16th, we start covering riffs. That's right. We're ending the year on riffs. And yep, there are a lot of things we didn't cover. We didn't cover splicers. Oh, thank God we didn't cover splicers. We didn't cover Nightbane. No, that's this is Dead Rain.
Dead Rain, Chaos Earth.
Yep. That was more because of time than anything else.
Yeah, it was more because of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a fun year. I can't believe it's been almost a year already.
I know, right? It's crazy.
But glad to see you here. So, all right. And the speed, that's supposed to be speed. The speed chart only goes to a rating, only goes to a rating 293, which is 200 miles per hour. Those things can move.
Yeah.
You got to pull out the riffs chart.
Yeah, you have to pull out the Heroes Unlimited or riffs or whatever because it has a normal person chart, a vehicle chart, a ground vehicle chart, and a sky chart. And for the hunters who fly, I would use the sky speed instead of the ground speed, which is faster.
Just talking about
You see the
the
hierarchy chart. Yeah, we have to make a whiteboard and like oh the whole Night Lord hierarchy is loosely based on the Ottoman Empire. As you can see, the Night Lords are here, and then down here, then you're like, yeah, no, we're not doing that.
and then finally, awakened doppelgangers are the ones that that are
Oh,
player
have their
characters
own
that have
free
what
will,
free
right?
will.
Or
Yeah.
or a good people.
All right, now you finally get to tell me about Wampiers.
No,
Wampiers.
we're gonna talk about vampires in general, and we're gonna touch on the Wampiers. Page 178.
Okay, I'll type that in. A vampire threat. Ooh, it's a threat.
Okay, we are gonna go through all of the flavor text and end up right here. Vampires are a powerful variable in the war between the Nightbane and the Baal, or the Nightlords. Enemies of humankind and all living things, vampire are also at odds with the Nightlords and their plans of conquest. Should the Baal come to completely dominate the earth, there will be little room for other creatures of the night. They hate vampires and fear Nightbane, so both must be eradicated. With few exceptions, see the Vampire and in the Nocturnes faction described elsewhere. Most vampires see humans as little more than cattle. They hate the Night Lords and fight them tooth and nail. They also welcome alliances with Nightbane and the supernatural magical forces willing to join the battle. However, any potential alliance faces insurmountable obstacles. Remember that phrase, insurmountable obstacles. But I can get over it. Insurmountable
Insurmountable.
obstacles. Okay. If the vampires win, they'll turn the earth into a cesspool. Nightbane have close ties to humankind, often consider themselves to be human, or at least used to be half human. Consequently, they are not likely to appreciate vampires' view of humans as meat waiting to be served up on a platter. If the Night Lords prevail, the vampire threat will be gone because the Night Lords will kill all the vampires. But then humankind will be bound and enslaved to servitude forever. So here we are, the vampire. And I'm gonna very, very lightly touch on it because you should not have vampires in your game. You got so much to do with Nightbane RCCs, Night Lords, Night Lord minions. You got so much going on. This is an unnecessary nonsense. But here's how it works. Again, going back to the Ottoman Empire. All right. So we have the vampire intelligence. This is a dirty little redheaded stepchild cousin of an actual alien intelligence. Very strong. Don't want to fight it as a Nightbane or a human or whatever, but it's a massive, squishy mouths, tentacles, and with a single eye in the middle. It can fragment its essence from its home plane of existence, pop into other planes of existence, and try and make a deal with a sentient being in that world. The deal is I will give you power, you give me servitude. Someone always says yes. And that person becomes the master vampire. The master vampire is the only vampire who gave away their humanity of their own free will. They decided to become an evil, sucking off the teat of an alien intelligence bastard. They decided it. They figure, I'm going to be on team stupid and I'm going to be a vampire. And they get a lot of power. Their body is basically reformed into a supernatural evil thing. IQ 14 plus 2d6, ME 10 plus 3d6, physical strength 18 plus 3d6, speed 10 plus 46. Their PE 18 plus 1d6. It's crazy. And they have the natural ability of vampires. Here's the thing. Palladium vampires are no joke. All right.
Mm.
Palladium vampires are no joke. There's barely any way to actually kill them. All right.
Super
Here's their
soaker.
deal. Yeah, but who's going to know that right off the bat? Nobody. Here's their deal. They are immune to almost everything. Anything non-magical, they take no damage from. Bullets, knives, spoons, forks, grenades, nuclear bombs, nothing. Nothing. The only thing they take damage from, magic, silver, wood, and supernatural attacks. But they regenerate so damned fast that they can go from a pile of bones to fully regenerated and attacking you in 15 seconds.
What? Wait, really?
Yes. It doesn't show it here. It shows it at
No,
the
no, that's
end.
right. I'm just scrolling up and down so people can see all the the list of powers.
It is absolutely cuckoo bananas. Vampires are nuts. That's all vampires, not just master vampires. All vampires have that regeneration. Okay. Silver and wood do hit point damage. They have 3d6 times 10 hit points. But again, they heal so quickly as soon as the wood or silver is removed, they start healing. Now, wood and silver damage, they heal more slowly, but they still heal much faster than even werewolves or and pretty much any lycanthrope. They heal much faster, even from silver. And then we have secondary vampires. In the next page down, secondary vampires are vampires made by the master. These are this is like you consider the master vampire Dracula and your fiance the secondary vampire. That's every vampire movie in a nutshell right there. The master Dracula turns your girl and she is now a secondary vampire. 99% of the time, the secondary vampire is under complete control of the master. Complete control. They no longer have a will of their own.
So
They
how do you
serve
become an optional player character? Kill the master?
there there is a way.
Okay.
Victims of the master are secondary vampires, despite the fact they're usually subservient to their creator and the intelligence, and the term secondary implies a level of inferiority. They possess all the spectacular supernatural powers of a master vampire, except for some psionic powers, and are quite intelligent. The only two things that make them inferior to their creator master is that the secondary vampires are slightly less intelligent, and they are susceptible to mind control of their master. Ironically, the secondary vampires can sometimes defy the vampire intelligence, perhaps because they possess a smaller portion of its essence or because they must answer to two masters. Don't know. Whether it is the smaller essence of the fact they have two masters or a second generation, the pitiful creatures remember more about their lives as humans than any other undead. Those of evil alignment readily accept their new monstrous status, but those of good alignment frequently loathe the monsters they have become. They try to fight their unnatural desires for blood and carnage, but most eventually succumb and resign themselves to being a monster. Yet a tiny minority do successfully win their inner battle and retain some vestige of humanity. They're unprincipled at best, anarchist or aberrant at average, who tend to operate independent of a master and away from others of their ilk. They seldom feed indiscriminately on the innocent and try to do some good with their lives. They're also the types to most likely be used as player characters. You don't have to kill the master, but if you were, say, a scrupulous character, the highest moral foundation, and you were turned into a vampire, you would slip down to unscrupulous, but maybe retain your individuality, be able to defy your master vampire. That's possible. That's when you can become a player character RCC as a secondary vampire. Again, do not think it's a good idea because you still have to eat human blood. Dumbass. How good can you be? And then there's wild vampires. They are created in one of two ways. Just keep this page 1. There it is, right there. It's not great. They have either been driven insane and into their present animalistic state from starvation or created by a secondary vampire. Like the master, the secondary vampire can also create new vampires. However, these third generation undead are frequently flawed. One might even say mentally retarded. I would say
Oh
so.
no. Can't say
Nope,
that
I would
now.
Nope, we can say it now because they are. These misanthropes are incredibly savage and possess the most meager of mental faculties. Most are crazed predators that are more animal than human. They are primal forces that function on instinct rather than forethought. Okay, here are the two ways to become a wild vampire. A secondary vampire who does not eat or does not drink any blood for a certain amount of time, I think it's weeks or months, will become insane and drink the very first thing that happens. If it's 6 months to a year of being starved, they will go permanently insane, which means they will drop down on the hierarchy from secondary to wild. If a wild vampire goes 6 months to a year with no food, they will drop from wild to, oh my God, this thing is absolutely nuts. Already this thing's nuts, but it would get an IQ of 1 rather than the 2d6 plus 1 that it gets.
That guy doesn't look crazy at all.
No, he looks fine. Just rub some dirt on it, get back in
Isn't
the
this
game.
Garthon?
Yeah, that's Garthon right there. All right, so the only difference between a secondary vampire and a wild vampire is its feral nature and even more so lack of intelligence compared to the master. So this thing is just rough and tumble. It's a Rottweiler trained to kill. That's basically it. That's what it does. And we don't need to go into vampire powers, creating undead. We don't need to actually get into that. Blah
Just
blah
know it's
blah.
in the
Passive
game. There
victim,
you go.
vampire slave, mind control vampire of a vampire, psychic powers of a vampire, summoning powers of a vampire, metamorphosis of a vampire.
That'd be a whole
But
episode itself.
exactly, if you look at page 186,
Okay.
it shows you a pictorial of someone removing a stake, a wooden stake, from a supposedly dead vampire. And then this is the course, these 6 panels are the course of 15 seconds.
That's not inspiring.
No. So if they are dead and have wood in their heart or where their heart would be, they won't get back up. But they're not dead. Because if you take out that stake, 15 seconds later, you have a fully functional vampire again, who's probably a little pissed.
And probably a little hungry, and you happen to be standing there with
Yeah,
a
and you're
steak
right
with a
there.
steak
You
in your
took out the
hand.
stake, right? I mean, sure, you have a wooden stake, but you have to cold shot the heart. You miss that? Well, people are going to miss you because you're dead. Killing the vampire. Ritual disposal, that's cutting off the head, burning the body, burying the ashes in 2 separate places. Death by sunlight, death by water. This is massive amounts. You have to bring the vampire to negative 21 hit point damage in moving water, and it will just melt and die completely. Soil of their homeland. If they have to sleep with the soil of the continent where they were born. So if you have a master vampire who was made a vampire in Asia, and now he moved to North America for some job, if you take the soil he brought with him away, he will not be able to sleep and he will die. There you go.
Actually seems like one of the quickest ways to kill him, believe it or not.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to freak out for a while, but yeah. And then there's the Wampir. And as you can see, it really is some goth emo little bitch boy.
It's a mouth breather already.
Yep, already mouth breather. Okay, Wampiers, pronounced Vampirs. Nope, Wampiers. Are a strange breed of vampires. Like normal or true vampires, they were hunted and then converted by the slow kill. But something in these victims is different. Some occultists speculate that they are true innocents or have pure souls. Perhaps the soul has nothing to do with it. Don't know. Maybe it's genetic. In many ways, Wampiers are still inhuman creatures. They need blood to survive. Light hurts them and will kill them over time. Unlike true vampires, however, they are free to choose the path of their own lives. Although leading normal life is nearly impossible, they can try. Many do. Many have tried to keep their natures a secret from their family and loved ones. That never is going to work. Others have become criminals or predators just because they can. Several Wampiers have actually declared war against their blood-sucking cousins and other evil entities. One such Wampir is the mysterious Yosef Pendragon, the founder of the Nocturnes. Some have even allied themselves with Nightbane, human sorcerers, and even rebellious secondary vampires. Okay, this is, again, a huge stretch. Like, I want to be a vampire, but I don't want to be evil because we're playing a good campaign. Well, you can be a vampire. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Unbelievably dumb. All right, they're weaker than even secondary vampires. Their intelligence, their strength, all of that is weaker, but stronger than humans. Fine. 2d6 times 10 plus 20 SDC. Hit points PE times 2 plus 1d6 per level. Natural abilities. Wampirs share the vampire's super regeneration powers and heal 2d6 SDC hit points every melee round. Okay, that's nowhere near an actual vampire. Nowhere near even a secondary vampire or even the wild vampire. They have supernatural strength and endurance and have a number of psychic powers. Wampiers take half damage from metal weapons, but have none of the normal vampire invulnerabilities. So normal weapons will harm them. Unlike regular vampires, that normal weapons do absolutely diddly. Blood dependency, they need blood, at least half a liter every 3 days. Vulnerability to sunlight, they take 2d6 points of damage every minute in sunlight. Now that's far less damage and far less time and a far greater time interval than a regular vampire, but still, it's not great. They have psionic powers. Start with all the vampiric powers except super hypnotic suggestion. Can select one additional power from any of these 3 psychic categories every level after first. Magic none, ISP 2d4 times 10, 8 points per level. Damage supernatural strength, possibly limitless. We don't really know if they're truly immortal or truly ageless like vampires are, because they usually don't live very long. They're fall into their whammitude. Oh, woe is me. I got to be all goth now. Or, a vampire finds him and goes, oh, God, what is that thing? And just kills it. So that is it. That is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to get into the Guardians because they should not be in your game at all, ever. So I'm not going to get into that. So we will go after some comments.
All right. Let me get this over here because I don't have to deal with this anymore. Get rid of that. You over there. And all right, now I can do this. Boom. So Darthic says vampires in this game are nice because there's a goal they all have and always evil.
Well, that's the thing. You're supposed to be a good guy.
No, he's not talking about playing one. He's just saying that the vampires themselves.
Yeah. Okay, fine. But again, you already have a big bad. You don't need another big bad. And vampires are a big bad. They are no joke.
I have found that in games, whether strategy or reading novels or whatever, in IPs, we'll say maybe not just games, that having a third faction to mix things up, where everybody hates this one, everybody hates this one kind of goes in between. Look in D&D, you got devils, demons, and the mercenaries, the Yugoloth, right? So to the Tanari, the Batsu, and the Yugoloth. It's always fun to have that third faction in there to mix it up.
Here's the problem, though. If the goal of the master vampire is to make around 1,000 secondary vampires or a total of 1,000 secondary and 1,000 wild vampires. The reason being is once enough of the vampire intelligence's essence is in a world, the vampire intelligence can actually come into the world. And you do not want that. Once the vampire intelligence is in the world, slaying the master vampire does nothing. Normally, before that happens, if you slay the master vampire, all that's left is the secondary vampires, and the vampire intelligence cannot come in because the main anchor to this plane of existence is the master. But once his body's in here, that giant sluggo, all mouth, tentacle, one eyeball thing is in this world, you're boned. It can make vampires just by touching folk. You're my vampire. You're my vampire. You be a vampire. The Oprah Winfrey of vampires. You're my vampire. It's crazy. And you
but you know what? They could fight back against the Nightlords, right?
Well, it didn't work in Rifts. There's at least 3 or 4 vampire intelligences physically in Rift's Earth right now.
What a great segue to the next comment.
They are exactly the same. And when I mean exactly the same, I mean vampires don't have MDC. They don't have SDC. They only have hit points. Because of their special invulnerability, they're unchanged from here to Rifts. Completely unchanged. It's plug and play.
Nerdioger says wild vampire, aka special needs vampire.
Yeah.
We're it's a more modern world. We don't want to use the R word anymore.
Artard?
Yes. Okay. Mampier. That's for the goth one.
There you go.
And really hate that picture. We could have picked something better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it gets a point across. You don't want to play one of these.
No.
Both breathers. All right. All right. Okay. That's it then that's it for now for Nightbane. Next week, what are you doing next week for us?
Next week, well, first, if you want something next week, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. That way you'll know when next week thing happens.
Mhm.
That's good. But next week I'll be creating a Nightbane from scratch. If you want to see all of the rolls, I'll make them completely transparent on our Discord. There's a die roller on our Discord. All of my rolls will be in order of character generation. If you have the book, or if you have the PDF, or if you've watched our content, you can follow along in my rolls to see what I'm getting. And then I will present the finished character, how it was built, how it came about next week. And let's see if I can break the streak of female privilege, because most of my characters have the only extraordinary stat they have is physical beauty. Most of my characters are that way. And as fighters, they're weak as shit. They're just weak.
Well, you know what? You could always go back 2 videos ago and look at my character and start from there. I'd like to see
Yeah.
how that played out. So also, related to our Discord, remember, 9th of October. So next week, he's creating a character. If you want to see those roles, you can come to our Discord. 9th of October, Sean Owen Robert. Oh my God, I can't even say his name now. Sean Owen Robertson is going to be on the show. Also, if you have questions for him, post them on our Discord. If you have anything that you've got concerns about, or something you just want to ask about, or something you really love that he's done, go ahead and let us know on our
Or
Discord.
something that you hate.
Or something that you hate. I was kind of negative. I was leading up. I started with the negative stuff, then went to the positive.
No,
Whatever.
we got a full dark side on him. He made Savage World, for crying out loud. We got to go full dark side.
I don't think he made Savage Worlds. I don't
Okay,
think that
well,
was his invention. But
whatever. He's part of the dark side. I mean, he's the Emperor's minion then.
I mean, Savage Worlds itself isn't bad.
No.
Everything going to Savage. I mean, but that's like D&D 5e. D&D 5e, whatever you want to think about it, that's fine. It's all these things. I have riffs. I have riffs right here. Oh, and I've made it 5e compatible. Okay, now I'm done.
Not going to buy that.
Yeah.
Not going to buy that garbage.
If I want to play riffs, I want to play riffs.
I've got Savage World Riffs. Well, you've got a book that I'm never going to have. So good job.
Hey, Max, you love Earth Done. What do you think of Savage Worlds Earth Done? It's not Earth Done.
I think it belongs in Savage Worlds, just like Savage Worlds does.
Right. Anyway, but he'll be on. And again, come to our Discord, post your thoughts, your comments, your questions that you might have for him, and we'll hopefully, I can't promise anybody anything, but we will try to address them on the 9th of October. And after that, like I said, 16th of October is going to be Riffs. That's right. We start Riffs, our final series, and Heath and Dog's got a lot of things to say about Riffs, and it's gonna be fun. So there you go. That's coming up. Do I have any banners to put up here? Any things that I need to shout out? Whatever. We don't need that. That's our schedule. There you go. That's our social media. We don't have any comments from last week, so we're not going to do comments. Nope.
Darn it.
Yeah. Well, your comment.
Fair enough.
So, and of course, like, subscribe, share.